So you want to be rich in 2025? We need to give up these 4 things. Look, I'm going to tell you something that most business gurus won't. Getting rich isn't about what you start doing, it's about what you stop doing. I've built a 7-figure business. I've consulted for some of the biggest names in the industry, and I can tell you this with absolute certainty: your habits are either building your empire or they're destroying it. And there's no in between at all. So today I'm going to share 4 things you need to give up if you want to be wealthy. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to actually give you a 5th thing. The exact mindset shift that took me from 6 figures all the way to my first million. And it's not what you think, and I guarantee nobody else is talking about this. So number 1 is give up your social circle. And I know this sounds harsh, but your environment shapes your reality. If you're surrounded by people who are satisfied with average, well, guess what? You're going to be average too. So think about it. When was the last time your friends actually talked about building generational wealth? When was the last time they discussed investment strategies? And I can guarantee it's probably never. They're too busy planning the next party, the next vacation, the next waste of time. When I first started my business, I was literally locked into my parents' garage 24/7. Complete reset. No distractions, no weekend parties, no pointless meetups, just pure focus on my vision. And the result, in 18 months, I built what most people take 5 years to achieve. And your circle will either elevate you or it will completely drain you. So choose wisely. Number 2 is give up the dopamine addiction. Let me be completely honest with you. Most of you are slaves to dopamine. You're addicted to those quick hits, the instant pleasure, the temporary satisfaction, the weakness. You're sitting there mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, hitting your vape, buying useless shit on Amazon at 3 a.m. and you wonder why you can't focus on building wealth? Well, there's your answers. Every time you chase that quick dopamine hit, you're training your brain to avoid real work. Real success doesn't come from 15-second videos or your next delivery dopamine hit. And I deleted my social media apps when I was starting out. I stopped buying things I didn't need. I even got rid of my gaming setup. Was it comfortable? No. Did my brain hate it? Absolutely. But guess what? That discomfort pushed me to focus on what actually matters and moves the needle. Next thing is give up information addiction. And this is going to trigger some of you, but it needs to be said. You're not staying informed, you're staying distracted. Every morning you wake up, you check the news, the market updates, the political drama, the celebrity gossip. You think you're being productive because it's business news or it's market research. But let me tell you something. Warren Buffett doesn't care about your Twitter feed. The most successful people I know, they practically are disconnected from the daily news cycle. They're not reading every article about market crashes or economic doom. They're too busy building. And you don't need to know every detail about what's happening in the world. You need to know what's happening in your world, your business, your skills, your growth. These things all matter a lot more than the external factors. So here we go, number 4, give up your instant gratification. This ties directly in what we've discussed about dopamine, and the reason most people stay broke is because they can't delay gratification. They need everything now. That new car, that fancy apartment, that designer wardrobe, it's all a trap. The moment you start making decent money, society tells you to upgrade your lifestyle. And I'm telling you now, just don't fall for it. I lived in my parents' house, I drove a regular car, and I invested every single pound back into my business or any investments. And my competitors were buying Rolexes, I was buying assets. They look rich, I became rich. You want to know the difference between the wealthy and the broke? I can be really controversial here. The wealthy understand that every pound spent on looking rich is a pound that could have been spent that could have made you rich. So now for what you've been actually waiting for, the 5th thing you need to give up, the one thing that separated me from every other entrepreneur who was doing the same things I was doing, is give up your excuses. So anything from the market's too saturated, somebody's already doing it, you don't have enough capital. Let me tell you something, excuses are the language of losers. And I started my first business with barely any capital. The market was saturated then too. But here's the difference between winners and losers. Winners find a way, losers find excuses. Every time you make an excuse, you're literally choosing to stay poor. And that's the reality. You're choosing comfort over success, safety over wealth, average over excellence. Your competition isn't some big corporation. Your real competition is your excuses. And here's what happens when you give these 5 things up that I've told you today. Your mind becomes clearer, your focus sharpens, your execution improves, and most importantly, your bank account grows. Look, I'm not here to sell you a dream. This isn't about manifesting success or thinking positive thoughts. This is about making hard decisions that most people aren't willing to make. Every successful person that I know has given up at least 3 of these things that I've told you today. And the ultra successful, they've given up all these 5 and a lot more. You can keep living like everybody else and get the same results as everybody else. Or you can start making these changes, start building real wealth. The choice is completely yours, but don't say I didn't warn you. So if you found value in this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below which of these 5 things that you're gonna give up first. But until next time, stay focused and keep building.